Hello, it's Nigel Burns again, and as almost everyone else in this country right now, we are working from home, sheltering in place. But as I said before, we're still working, still taking cases, taking clients' calls, and maybe working harder than ever, actually. One of the things I wanted to talk about today is in the divorces that we've been talking about is the subject of spousal support, or alimony as it's been called, or even in fact sometimes for people who aren't married but have lived together for many years, in the sense as man and wife, you'll hear about palimony. But anyway, spousal support is something that typically is awarded or sought when a couple gets separated and file for divorce. There are two types of spousal support. There is permanent spousal support and temporary spousal support. And what that means is basically when someone gets divorced, they may seek from the court an order of spousal support, and that order will be a short-term order, a temporary support order, that typically the court will actually use a program called DissoMaster. It's a computer program that the judge will input a lot of information, like how much you're earning, how much your ex-spouse is earning, if both of you are earning, as well as mortgage interest, health, medical insurance, those types of expenses. And then the court the program will essentially kick out a number. That's the temporary support number. And that is support that a supported spouse could expect to receive until the time of a further order or trial, or even an agreement among the parties. Permanent spousal support is the order that the court makes after trial or at trial. And that is actually not calculated by using various entries into a computer. That is actually arrived at by several factors that the court looks at. Length of the marriage, whether the ability of one spouse to support another, whether there's been domestic violence in a marriage. Those are things that can affect, as well as the standard of living of the parties. Those are things that can affect how much or how little someone may receive in support. Invariably, some things you should think about are if one person is earning more than the other, if one spouse has helped the other in their advance their career, whether it be as a doctor or even a lawyer, something like that. Those are also factors that the court looks at in determining spousal support. One last thing I will say about spousal support is that for marriages that are less than 10 years, typically a court in California at least will order support to be for half the length of the marriage. So if a couple have been married for 8 years, then the supported spouse may expect to receive spousal support for 4 years. It's not an absolute rule, but it's a fairly consistent rule. On the other side, if people have been married for 10 years or more, then the supported spouse typically will be entitled to long-term or permanent support that will go on until the supporting spouse retires. Word to the wise, it doesn't mean that a supporting spouse can retire early to stop paying support. The courts don't like that. So those are basically some of the pointers about spousal support. Obviously, you want more information. It's always good to contact a lawyer and find out, get a general idea of what you might expect to receive or what you might expect to be paying. Thank you. Stay safe in there. Bye-bye.